Welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. This is the week that was. And it's been a great week, 2 weeks in a row, and I've been able to do the week that was. That's pretty good for entering the end of the semester when things get really busy with work. And also with my own writing stuff going on. I had an exciting announcement last week about Mark Lawrence agreeing to read my book. And just another brief update about that stuff. I am now pretty certain that my agent will be making the pitch in mid-May. So fingers crossed, everybody. Making the pitch to publishers, that is to say. So yeah, I am incredibly excited and nervous, but it's a big time, and we'll see what happens. I will certainly keep you updated on all that. But on the channel, it's been a great week as well. I had an absolute blast talking with Ruth and Bad for the 7th episode of Dear Dr. Fantasy. What a marvelous time it was talking. I don't know if I can say I've ever been so entertained in my entire life. Talking with Ruth and Bad for 2 hours and 40 minutes or so. And I was laughing almost the entire time with him because he's just such a funny and very intelligent person. So I had a great time. And he is, of course, a Malazan guy. He's a Malaz tuber, and he is the cipher of Malaz tube. But he's also just a lot of fun to watch. So even if you don't think you might subscribe to his channel, because a lot of his videos, most of his videos, have a lot of spoiler content in them, and it's all Malazan stuff. Even if you're not so interested in Malazan, he's just that particular discussion with him was so much fun. You probably would enjoy it. I would hope so. Yeah, great time talking with Ruth and Bad, and of course one of the highlights of the chat was when Steven Erikson and A.P. Canavan showed up. A.P. Canavan being a critical dragon, my personal nemesis, also known as Professor Fireballs. It was so much fun to see Ruth and Bad's reaction, especially since I was able to preserve the surprise, and he had said earlier in our discussion that he would never be in a video with Steven Erikson, and then just to see the look on his face when Steven Erikson showed up in the video is just absolutely precious. So I had so much fun with that, and I know that the people who left comments also felt similarly. It was just a lot of fun. And great to talk with Steven Erikson, of course, and A.P. Canavan. Just wonderful people, all. So, I also came out with a video on the Long Price Quartet, which I finished reading. I finished The Price of Spring. Absolutely fantastic series. I highly recommend it, especially if you love books that have richly sketched characters with incredibly complex relationships with one another and conflicts both within themselves and in terms of how they relate to these other characters. Just a beautiful series. I was so moved at the end of it all. I felt like I knew these people. I knew these people. They were part of my life by the time I got to the end of the 4th book. Just tremendous achievement what Daniel Abraham has done there. And it's really a fairly compact series. Those 4 books are not very long. But what he manages to get across in terms of the personalities of his characters is just fantastic. So highly recommend that series if you're up for a deep and thoughtful and really well-written series. What else am I up to here? Well, what I'm reading now is The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. And, you know, Gwynne books feel like coming home to me now, having read everything else that he's published up to this point. And now I'm halfway through The Hunger of the Gods and loving every moment. It feels like coming home because also of I've said it many times, but the saga inspiration in here. He's just so dead on when it comes to the tone of the sagas. And I will say that the opening pages of this book are, in my opinion, the most just wonderful writing I've seen from John Gwynne so far. And he hits these heights at other moments in the book, but he's had a consistent several pages in the beginning here that are just absolutely astounding. I would put that writing next to just about anybody's, and just so impressed with the opening to this, and the book has been so much fun. Lots of action as expected, but I feel like Gwynne is getting better and better and better as a writer with each book that he puts out now, and I'll explain why when I review this, but having a good time with it so far. Absolutely great time with The Hunger of the Gods. Look at that cover. I mean, wow. This is great stuff. And he's got his usual blend of classical fantasy and modern fantasy in here. Very effective. Just great storytelling and a lot of fun. So very happy with this, and I expect probably next week to have a review of this. Maybe more likely Thursday, though, than Tuesday. But we shall see. I will see how much reading I can get done this weekend. I'm going to be grading a lot of papers, so I'm going to be a bit slow with my reading. And I'm not the fastest booktuber out there to begin with, so we'll see what I can do. But I like to savor my reading, folks. But I'm also very busy this time of year, so let's see what happens. I've also got this book. I'm pretty sure I'm able to read really fast. It's a pretty large print, a couple hundred pages, a little over 200. Michael Crichton's The Eaters of the Dead, and I'm going to be talking with Mike about this one. And I've mentioned before how he suggested I check out Eaters of the Dead while we were having our Beowulf discussion on his channel. So he's going to be coming over to the channel sometime in the near future to talk about Eaters of the Dead, and I am so looking forward to that. Having seen the movie The 13th Warrior, and being a fan at least of the first half of The 13th Warrior, I remember really liking the first half of the film, at least. The second half, not so much, honestly, but there's some really good moments in that movie, so I expect to find some good moments in the book as well, and see where the book is different from the film, so very much looking forward to that. Most likely after that, I will pick up Wolves of the Kala by Stephen King, the book 5 in the Dark Tower series. I say most likely because there are a few unknowns here, but I've got this one waiting for me, and if I don't read it after Eaters of the Dead, I would probably read it very soon after that anyway. But it's something I want to do now is to keep roughly the same schedule that Mike has over on his channel, because he's doing a Dark Tower read-along on his channel, and they're doing one a month, I think, and so this will probably be perfect for me to just sort of, splice myself onto his reading schedule, and that makes it even more likely that we'll be having some palavers in the near future. So that's something that, and not just with me and Mike, but I had the one before with Sarah, and of course with Chaz, and there are some other Stephen King fans out there who might be joining in some other palavers. So nothing's quite formally organized yet, but fairly soon, I hope. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So expect some Dark Tower content over the next few months. So yeah, good stuff there. Other books that I might be picking up, and there are a couple factors here that are unknowns at the moment. But one could very well be me starting with Book of the Ancestor by Mark Lawrence. That starts with Red Sister. I'm really eager to get back into Mark Lawrence. He's just one of my favorite writers in the genre. Fantastic writer, really smart writer, and I think that this trilogy has been calling me for a long time. I've been talking about it in my TBR video and such, so I'm eager to get to that. Possibly also, I might be reading some. I have actually about 4 now self-published books that I need to get to, so I might get to one of them as well after reading Wolves of the Kala. So let's see what happens. The other unknown is when exactly I'm going to be having my Dust of Dreams chat or discussions with AP Canavan over at A Critical Dragon. We will be doing that. We've been getting a few questions about when the Dust of Dreams discussions will be coming. And all I can say is that I think they'll be coming fairly soon. I don't know exactly when. But I will tell you this, as soon as the Dust of Dream discussions happen, I will drop everything and continue with the last book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen, The Crippled God, followed by Assail, the last book in Novels of the Malazan Empire by Ian Esselmont. So I will definitely, those are #1 priority for me. So when AP and I are able to get together and have our Dust of Dreams chat, that will trigger a few other things, including after the Malazan stuff, including the beginning eventually of our read of The Wars of Light and Shadow by Janny Wirtz. This is something I'm really looking forward to. AP and I are going to be reading that series together. And I think Jimmy Nuts is also going to be with us, so that's going to be fantastic. He's going to be reading as well. And I think a lot of people out there are starting to hear about Wars of Light and Shadow, so I expect some other booktubers to be beginning that series too. So I just can't say exactly when. I know some people have asked, when are you guys starting your read-along for Wars of Light and Shadow? I cannot say exactly when. I was hoping for May. If it happens in May, it'll be late May at this point, I think. But we shall see. Hopefully, if not late May, then maybe early June. But soon, I hope. And I'm really excited for that. And that will definitely follow the finish of the Malazan read-along. So lots of good stuff, in other words. Lots of great stuff happening in the near future. And also some David Gemmell. I think we'll be starting with Legend when that happens. So just lots of good stuff up ahead. And I'm also planning, I am conceiving, one of you guys, Eric, actually, gave me an idea. So I am going to probably do something with this idea. And it has to do with something I never thought I would do, which is to create a tag. I'm going to create a tag, folks. More on that later. It might be a little surprise for everyone, but Eric knows what I'm talking about. Something that I think will be a lot of fun. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't so long ago I didn't know what a tag was, but I'm going to make one. Darn it. So let's see what happens with that. Upcoming stuff happening elsewhere. Actually, on this day, this very day, when this video is coming out, I will be in a discussion at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. That is 5 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time. 4 o'clock Eastern Time on the channel Fina Reads. And Fina is going to be hosting a discussion on diversity in fantasy, I think specifically, but in literature in general. A broad-ranging discussion, and it will include Chaz and Joanna and Ursi as well. So those are wonderful people, all of them. And I'm looking forward to being part of this discussion and learning from their perspectives as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a live stream on Fina Reads at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And also I will be in another live stream on Friday the 29th with Steve over at Steve Talks Books with a couple of other guests, very special guests that you probably know and love. So that's another one. I'm very excited. It's going to be a chat with several of us getting together. And this is going to be a thing I think you're going to be seeing more often on BookTube. These chats are just, I think a lot of people enjoy the long chats. The Mike's Talk About Nothing. Jimmy Nuts is chatting with Nuts. And Dear Dr. Fantasy. Let's not forget that one. These chat shows are just a ton of fun, and I expect that you'll probably see some of them now with multiple booktubers talking together. So I'm going to be part of that on Steve's channel very soon. And speaking of Dear Dr. Fantasy, I have the next couple episodes planned. I will be meeting with Raph Bluetext and Library of a Viking. Those are the next 2 episodes. And I have dates and times all set to meet with those excellent people. And I also have a couple other people beyond that who have agreed to appear on Dear Dr. Fantasy. So very excited, and I will keep announcing them as they come. One other final thing that is planned is a little ways off, but I thought I'd mention it since in the past we've been having our Long Price Quartet live stream discussion shortly after we finish reading. We're going to have this one a little bit later. I finished The Price of Spring. I think I was the last one in the group to finish it. And we're going to have our discussion, though, because we couldn't find the exact time, and people have important things going on, in the month of May. So we're actually meet in the beginning of June. I think that's June 5th at 2 o'clock. On my channel, I'll be hosting a live stream. Yeah, my second live stream ever for the LPQ final chat. And that will include the usual gang that we've been having. I'll be talking that up as we get closer to the beginning of June, though. And that's about it for me for this week. I am looking forward to all these reads and discussions and everything else. And I thank you for being here, for engaging with me in the comments, and for being wonderful people. Until next time.